So Santosh, in the past 5 years, I see thousands of investors are entering the market. I see SIPs are records high. More than 21 crore demat accounts are opened. But somehow, everyone is also losing.
The people who are losing money, they don't have emotional control on. When you sit in front of the markets will teach a lesson. You say that the stock market is a gambling.
Can you explain this a bit?
Not the markets that make you rich. It is how you behave with the markets. If you ask me to choose between profit and peace of mind, I would always choose peace of mind.
So what do you think? What is the biggest mistake that you consistently see in the people who lose their money in the market? Trading or investing? Intelligence or discipline? Fear or greed? AI or human judgment? Long-term or quick profits? Welcome to another podcast. I'm really excited for this one because this will have a lot of talking about stock markets, investing, and how we behave, how our mind works, and a lot more on that. I'm not alone in this one. As you know, podcast always has a wonderful guest who explains everything in detail. So today's guest is Mr. Santosh Kumar, the founder of StreetFolio. Hello, Santosh.
Hey Keshav, thanks for welcoming me. I'm so good.
Great.
Glad to meet you.
Good to see you, man. Good to see you. Have read your articles, have gone through your company profile and the details of it. Really excited for this one, very honest. All right, great. So I think the base is set. Now let's deep dive into the world of stock market. How does investing happens, investors' behavior, and where is the real problem?
Exactly.
Why my friends and people around me are losing money in the stock market? So we'll talk all of that in detail in our studio.
Yes.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Ready?
Excited.
So Santosh, in the past 5 years, I see thousands of investors are entering the market, right? I see SIPs are records high. More than 21 crore demat accounts are opened. So everyone is investing, right? Somewhere or the other. But somehow everyone is also losing, which is a pain for me, honestly, because people are asking, where is my money going? What is happening? So can you help us on that and give us more clarity?
See, honestly, this is the one question even I had around 15, 20 years ago. Now, when people look at stock markets, what they assume is only one side of the stock market.
Okay.
It is always returns. But they are not well prepared to take the risks. And at the same time, the people who are losing money, it's not because of the problem with the markets.
No, what do you mean by they're not prepared for the risk?
They don't really understand what is the risk involved in the stock markets.
Okay.
And to understand the risk involved in the stock markets, first they should understand how the stock market operates. At the same time, most of the people whom I have seen, they are the people, they go behind already stocks which already have moved. In the sense, see, in stock markets, there is something called as you have to buy low, you have to sell high. This is a concept.
Yeah.
But most of the people, when they look at the stocks, they identify the stocks when they are already given the returns. And sometimes when they wanted to enter into the stock markets, they buy the stocks which they have already in the peak. And from there, if the stock collapses 10% or 20% from there, these people get panicked. And the risk what I'm talking about is they are not well prepared to understand that 10% and 20% how they wanted to control it. Then they exit from that because you know that the stock is already 10% or 20% down. And they don't have the clear process of exit.
Okay.
And thereby they exit. They book the loss and then they look for another stock. By then, the stock which have already exited, that stock again start performing. Now, in one sense, we can understand this is something like a confusion or the people don't have clarity. The clarity what I'm talking is they don't have emotional control on ups and downs of the stocks.
Patience, maybe?
Of course, yes. Because to understand this patience properly, first they should know how do they control or how do they develop the patience outside before entering the stock markets? For example, unless you are so strong in your personalities or unless you are so strong enough emotionally, when you sit in front of the markets will teach a lesson. That lesson is so costly.
Yeah.
And the lesson comes with the cost.
Correct.
And the cost is too heavy.
Too heavy.
And you say that the stock market is a gambling because you did not know how to exit. In other words, I can tell that stock market is a place of a battlefield where you know only how to enter into a battlefield. But when you don't know how to exit from the battlefield, you will be killed. It's like the case of an Abhimanyu, where Abhimanyu knew how to enter into the battlefield.
Yeah.
And when he did not know the exit process,
Correct.
has been killed in the battlefield, though he's a great warrior. Same thing happening with the new investors, new generation people. Like people now, when they go into stock markets, they actually think that they can make money. Of course, yes. But the process is they should also understand what are the things that they have to follow in the stock markets.
No, but for example, somebody who is new in the investing, right? I'm talking
Yeah.
about some new investors, right? Because of course, if you're investing from past 5-10 years, you have an idea of how the world works, right? The stock market world works. But if I'm a new guy, right? First, I don't have that kind of money in my bucket. Okay, I lost my 5 lakh, 10 lakh, whatever. I can manage, right? I have a limited money that I have with me in my kitty. I'm investing that. So of course, when it will go down 20%, 30%, I will be shattered. It's my hard-earned money and I had that only. Or maybe a part more, but I don't have much to play with. So then first of all, of course, as you rightly said, that they don't know how to exit. I agree to your point. But then what is the way out? And where is the exact problem with these guys?
I would say the exact problem is they don't have an emotional balance.
Okay.
It's a one element which is missing. For example, if I take a example of people, they are chasing something which is very trendy, and outside world they have not practiced enough before taking a risk, or they have not practiced enough controlling their emotions. See, in stock market we have something called as psychology of investing. And when you talk about the psychology of investing, it actually talks about the person who is behind the move of a stock price.
Okay.
I would say these are people behind stock market. There are people who operate stock markets.
Correct.
Investors only.
Correct.
Unless you understand the psychology of investors, you don't know how the markets are behaving. Markets in the sense it's not just a price. People behind it. Now, when you want to understand people and their psychology, first you should know what is that psychology and what is that emotion.
Yeah.
It's like when there is a crowd and the crowd is knowledgeable and you jump into the crowd and without knowing what is the process to follow. It's like when you observe media, social media, or when you watch news channels and all, you will be tempted. Tempted in the sense you see some returns, you see some profits. You talk to your friends, they also tell you that like there are stocks I have invested, I have made this and all. But this is a debatable thing. But at the same time, when you understand that the one who has made money in the stock markets, you should also understand what is the risk process that person has followed. For example, 100 rupees with me and 100 rupees with you is not the same. Though 100 rupees is same on the numbers, for me 100 rupees is like a 1 lakh. For somebody else, 100 rupees is like a 50 lakhs. Because the value of 100 rupees in real numbers remains the same. But when it is with the person, the value changes. Similarly,
Can you explain this a bit?
it's like I am ready to take a risk of 10,000 rupees losses
Okay.
because I have a different source of income.
Correct.
Let's say you watched a stock which I've already bought. Now at the same time, you also wanted to buy the same stock. You will buy it. Where both of us are holding the same stock at the same price. Now when the stock prices collapse of a 10% or a 20% in our example, now I am ready to hold it because I have another source of income. Whereas the other person or you don't have other source of income and you have that fear of losing more.
Correct.
When you have the fear of losing more, you start exiting emotionally. In my process, my risk level is different from your risk level, and my approach towards market is different from your approach, or my objectives of investment is entirely different from your objective of investment. My time horizon in investment is entirely different from your time horizon.
Correct.
I may be ready to hold the stock for 5 years, 10 years, whereas at the same time you are not ready enough to hold it for 5 years because all that you had is only that much money. You expect that that stock has to perform only on that investment, the returns has to happen.
Yeah.
Whereas me, even though if I am losing on a one particular stock, I have another stock which always gives you, or which will compensate the losses of another stock.
So what is the right way of investing then? How, if you
First-
can just briefly tell.
Yeah. It's something like you should know the process. Process in the sense, first, it's not about just knowing the process. You should also know how do you control yourself when something is going wrong in the markets. We say that it is not the markets that make you rich. It is how you behave with the markets make you rich. Sometimes it's not enough, even if you have enough of data, enough of knowledge on markets, that makes you successful. Sometimes you stick to a disciplined investment. The discipline in the sense, you have the process, you keep that constant process continuously, and you always look for a long-term investments. For example, if you are a new investor, and that is a process you have to follow. When you know what is the stock markets and what is investment and what is your risk levels, how much you can be ready to lose money or how much risk you can go into markets, that decides your success in your investments.
So now one more thing I wanted to ask you, and honestly, that is what me and few of my friends also feel. Are there some people behind the market who are eating our money because of the losses that everybody is making? Are there any people who we don't know, but they're eating our money? Is it? I know it's a bit controversial, but
it's a general psychology that in the stock market there is a statement: the losses of you is my profit.
yeah,
If somebody is losing,
Exactly.
somebody has to earn.
exactly, yeah.
Now, the SEBI report says, we all know that 93% of the people lost money in F&O trading between 22 to 24. Now, if you look at this, where the losses have gone, apart from your statutory obligations and all, somebody has earned. Now, when somebody earning that much, or at least a portion of it, then there must be good enough to take care of the trading psychology or investment psychology, or they're good enough to know what is market.
Correct.
They're good enough to understand, see it, give enough of time to it, and they work for it. So, of course, yes, if we are all losing money in the stock markets, it's not the markets, it is taking the profits, it's the people. And at the same time, I would say that it is not the one who is losing money to the market, he is losing himself, because you have not come across with the exact approach and the exact process somebody has to follow to be successful in their investments.
Nice. Agreed. So what do you think? What is the biggest mistake that you consistently see in the people who lose their money in the market?
I would say it's impatient, and if you add so many things around it, it is emotional imbalance.
Yeah.
It's a fear of missing out. Or I have observed so many people, they buy at a high and sell low.
But it's very easy to say, Santosh, honestly. Sitting and talking is very easy. That, emotional imbalance, everything. But somebody is losing their hard-earned money. That is, I understand, I get you. But still, I'm not able to get my answers. Okay, then what should I do? Where should I go? Okay, I have this imbalance in me. What is that technique that I should follow? If you can just help me, because I am curious as per my audience who is watching us right now.
See, in last 15-20 years of my experience with people who are investing in stock markets and myself,
Yeah.
and when I've seen so many people losing money and making money,
Yeah.
myself, I have traded, I've lost money,
Yeah.
I've lost enough of money, in fact.
Correct.
And going through all these things, there are certain things we have to stick to it. Point number one, it is not about knowing everything in the stock markets. It's about sticking to the right thing in the stock market. If you ask me, there are two segments of the people. One, traders. Other one, investors. Now, when I say traders, they always look for a short-term gains. When I say investors, they look for long-term investments and long-term gains. Now, many people talk about what is active investment, passive investment, and all. These are all the things keeping apart. When you wanted to know that, what is these people to crack to be successful in investment in the stock markets? It's something like they should understand the emotional balance. Now, you ask me a right question where, like, how do they understand? How do they figure it out?
Exactly.
How do they understand, like, what emotions they need? This is where exactly the generations or the people, since from the COVID, for example, if you see the COVID cases and all, those times markets crashed and people were so fearful. At the same time, at the other side, when people were investing, they were all very happy because markets recovered quickly. That is one of the biggest lessons where the people like us, when we were trading and we see that markets crash day by day, and it also regained the same momentum and it has outperformed whatever the fall has happened. And the outperformance came from very shortest period of time in the history.
Agreed.
Now, when you see this, the people have massively jumped into investments because that was a time when people were looking for the alternative income sources. When they look for alternative income sources, when their jobs are not there, they eventually end up coming into the stock markets. And those people, and with those numbers, Indian demat accounts grown from being 4 crore to 21 crores. Now at 2020, it was 4 crores.
Correct.
And now you have a figure roughly around 21 plus crores.
21 plus crores, yes.
Now, if you see, everywhere, the volume has grown up. In the sense, number of demats increased. People have come into markets, but they are lack with preparation. The preparation is the one which comes with the emotional balance, I would say. Now, how do we get into that emotional balance? Point one.
Yeah.
Now, let's say, for example, I'm an individual. Now, I'll talk something about apart from what is finance, what is investments now. When I wanted to understand myself, there are three elements. One, body. Another one is mind. Another one is soul.
Correct.
Now, we are made up of three elements. It's body, mind, and soul. Now, there are so many people, they work only on the body. There are people, they work only on the mind. But what about the soul? The soul is the element of you in the existence as a human being. It is connected to your emotional balance. In the sense, when you go to the gym, you develop your structure on the body. Like you will put up your body into a right shape. The same time, when you go to yoga classes or when you sit for a meditation and you develop the balance with your mind. But who addresses the problem of the soul? Now, when I say something like this, it is not the method what you follow at the gym or at yoga classes that addresses the soul's problem. Because one way or the other way, however you practice, you lose your emotions. It's not something you can avoid emotions being a human being. It is how you deal with it. Now, to deal with it, you have to address the problem of the soul. When you don't address the problem of the soul, you eventually end up not addressing your emotional imbalance.
Wow. Nice. And that's where the problem is. Like it's much
Exactly.
deeper. And then when you maybe solve the problem, which is deeper, the emotional balance, then your decisions will be better. The stocks that you're picking will be better. The timing,
Exactly.
you can understand the market as well. Getting it. Nice.
Now you see, we all know that AI making revolution.
Yeah. Oh, come on.
It's a
Already
generation
made.
where you say anything, you'll get the answer within seconds, within minutes.
Yes.
The information is everywhere, but who is going to teach you the process?
Correct.
Who is going to handle you? What information you want to use? How much information you require? Sometimes, it is not about how much information you have. It is about what do you do with that information. It is not about how much data you have with you. It is
What do you
about What is the data you wanted? For what purpose?
But I see since you picked the right topic, YouTube, Instagram, there are influencers everywhere.
Everywhere.
I mean, information is right there, right? And
Exactly.
somehow I feel, and I question it to myself, or probably to people around, people like you who are, in the market from past 20 plus years, that is this information, this everywhere information, is helping me or distracting me? Like, I don't know. And it is still a question unanswered, honestly.
See, there were days when people wanted every data and every information.
Yeah.
Now they have access to it. At the same time, everyone at present, everyone are at an equilibrium place. They are playing a level game. Now, whatever information you have, same information even I have. But when I don't know what I should do with that, how do I get the right information? Information is there. If you go to social media, for example,
But I'll do what people are saying no on social media. For example, I'm going to YouTube. I'm
Yes.
watching, I like a YouTuber.
Yes.
I like a influencer. And I'm like, oh, I love this guy. Yaar. Amazing. He's saying, guys, this is the problem you're having. Yes, I'm having this. You agree and you relate to that guy. And then you do what he says. And then you fail. So this is a distraction for me if I see.
in fact, if you speak to any of these founders of Meta or Google, somewhere here or there agreed that they have come up with a data points where they try influencing people with the same level of dopamine.
That I agree.
Now, when you see this, sometimes we all know that we keep scrolling. Sometimes we stick to some topics, and most of the times many people stick to wrong topics only. When they don't know what is right topic to be picked, they eventually end up picking the topics which may not be even useful for them.
Yeah.
Now, how do you decide what is good and what is bad? Somebody has to teach you what is good. Then only you will go and search for good information in the media.
How to choose? I'm a guy who's investing from past 5 years. I am exposed to the world of AI. I am exposed to the world of internet in terms of Instagram, Facebook, right? And now I want to grow. I don't have any friend who teaches me or tells me. I have nobody because we all live in isolation. Nuclear families. We don't have much friends who we relate to also. And we don't discuss our finance, especially
Correct.
with them. Okay, we will not do that. Though we know that guy is great, but hey, I don't want to share how much I earn, how much this and that, right? Yes. So my go-to place is my mobile phone, my laptop.
Exactly.
On YouTube, on Instagram, Facebook, I watch a guy, I like, hey, this is a good guy. I love watching him. Now, how to understand what is good for me and what is bad for me?
Firstly, when you observe something, it is how you have decided in you to choose between the good and bad outside this influencer world.
Okay.
For example, since from the childhood, let's say you have not been walking in the path of all the good things.
Okay.
You eventually end up choosing the wrong things because you don't have any choice. The human mind is always anchoring for something. It takes a happiness. It derives happiness. The basic nature of a human being is we all want to be happy. When we all want to be happy, we look for the sources of happiness. When you are looking for the sources of happiness, when you are going on the way, and the way, nobody is there to tell you what is right. You eventually end up walking in the way and you end up deriving some happiness, which is very short term. Now, this is a very deep topic. Now, when I say which is very deep topic, I'm connecting a personality of a mind, the person's mind, human being's mind, to how to identify what is good and what is bad. When you know how to identify what is good and what is bad,
Correct.
then you know what information you are seeking or what information you are watching on whatever the media is, like whether you read, whether you watch, whether you go to influencer, irrespective of whether it is finance, whether it is some other topics, anything for that matter. You know that how do you evaluate the good things and the bad things. It is to know what are all the bad things. When you know that what are all the bad things, you actually end up choosing the good things.
Correct.
Now, to decide at this particular point of time, you should have enough of practice choosing the right things always in your life. Now, when I talk about the life and all, it goes beyond finance. Because the basic fundamental question to a human being is to be good, what I should do. Who teaches good? Where is the good? And whom we should trust. Now, if I want to address this, if I want to address all these questions, from my childhood, I should have walked in a way which is a right path. In the sense, the mind always takes an element of an information and it goes in the direction of what it teaches every time when you grow up. Now, this is where, when you want to talk about something in the markets, not like only in the finance, but everywhere. Now, you know what good is that? How good is that? Then you know in the influencer world, as you said, now if people are talking so much, they are giving it so much content and all. Now in that, you know what is good, what is bad. See, I can't decide this is the good, this is bad, unless you know what is good for you and what is bad for you.
Okay.
That has to be identified by you.
No, then how will I do that?
Now to do that, there is a process.
Okay.
This process is, as I said, it is out of finance context.
Okay.
Where it comes from your birth. See, sometimes it is like this. Knowing tomato as a fruit is knowledge. But using tomato in the kitchen as a vegetable is a wisdom. Now, who taught our parents tomato is a vegetable? Because it has come through practice.
Correct.
If you ask me, like, my mom has not studied in a college or a school. She doesn't know.
Yeah.
But she knows that if you ask her, what is the purpose of this tomato? She'll say that I'll be using this tomato in the kitchen as a vegetable. Who taught her? It's the wisdom. Now, when you grow in that angle, now you know that what is good, what is bad. To read right things, you should get right thoughts. To get the right thoughts, you should eat right food. To eat right food again, you should have the right thoughts. Now, who gives you all this information? Now, if you go through any religion and ask them or their religious texts, for example, I born in a Hindu culture, Hindu family. Now I go through my scriptures. My scriptures have recommended what is a good food, what is the good decision.
Correct.
Now, when you actually consume good food, sattvic food, I mean to say, you get the right thoughts. When you get a right thought, you know, you want to get to know, you actually get to know what is right in the market or in the media. So you get addicted to the right things always. Now your mind is developing a right things, right context. To be good, first you should eat good. To eat good, you should have the right thoughts or a good thoughts. How do we develop? Our scriptures are there.
Got it. And do you think that this will help us in decision paralysis that we're having right now?
Of course, because if you take the history, it is not that human being is solving something which has not been existing. Now, if you go back to Satya Yuga, people were there, they were traveling from one planet to another planet. Now, what am I doing sitting here? You are talking about somebody who is launching airspace elements and all from the earth to some moon and all.
Correct.
But there were people, they were living, we have an evidence that like they were even sophisticatedly having every element of what the recent generation of science is inventing. In the sense, things are already there.
It's always a reinvention is what I feel.
You may be discovering it.
Discovering now.
Now at the same time, now the human generation have passed. It is evolved. But how do you know that mind is like evolved in a context where you understand the right things?
Got it. Agreed. So I think the problem is not with the information. The problem is what you choose.
Exactly.
Right? What you choose and what you choose to watch and who decides your decision.
Exactly.
Sitting back.
Yes.
So this brings me to the next question, which is, I feel there is another hidden problem by talking to you, I realize, which is called behavior gap. Somehow I've read in your articles as well that what all you've shared with me. Behavior gap, right? And this leads to me to the next point where I see investors underperform the funds they own,
Exactly.
right?
Yes.
So somewhere behavior is highly involved.
Yes. See, now in a world where you have so many things, where you can get the data, information, everything, as we already discussed about this.
Correct.
Now, the behavior gap, which I was talking to you, or like the reference, what you are saying is there is enough of things to do in the stock markets or investment world, but we don't have the right behavior, in the sense we don't have that right mindset towards how we approach markets. It is in one sentence I can say, how do you handle emotions personally? It reflects how you are handling your investments in the markets. When I'm not strong enough to handle myself, my emotions, my feelings, how can I handle something which cannot be even controlled without a right process?
Correct. If you can help me with an example where I can understand this behavior gap, and why I'm saying this, because I see, investors, somewhere they underperform the funds they own, and that is a sad thing to see, honestly, to see my friends going through that. So can you help me and my friends who are watching us right now understand, okay, hey, this is the behavior gap. This is what not happening right. This is the gap you need to cover up. And this, if you do, you can have more chances of being successful in the stock market business.
Yes. Right question to be answered. If you take an example of a stock which has moved from 100 rupees to 200 rupees, it is not your money. The stock has moved. The market actually rewarded. The question is whether you have entered at 100 and you have exited at 200. Now, if you ask me, in reality, it's not there. Now, the difference of the most fund houses, they have shown the returns to some X amount. But whether the investors who are holding those funds, they actually did not make that X amount. They actually made X minus, because the behavior, what I'm referring is, they don't have that control of the real entry and real exit, in the sense what most of the people do in the stock markets. It's one of the biggest mistakes what people, investors or traders, whoever they make it. They actually buy at the top, at the peak, and they exit at the bottom. In the investment world, if you take from the history of investments and the successful people like Warren Buffett and all, they said, you buy low and sell high.
Yeah.
Now, when you address this, you know that what is that behavior the investors are missing. Because that's not the right behavior. We all know that somebody is buying at high and selling at low. Actually, it should have been the other way. Now, why did they enter when the stocks or the markets were at peak? Because they have seen the temptation. The temptation, it has come to them by seeing already performed assets or already performed returns. They get in. Now, when they see the markets collapsed, when they see the stock is down, I mean to say, fundamentally the stock should be good enough to buy. It's not every stock. Now, when the stock has structurally has fallen, when along with the markets, now the people think that there is something wrong with the stock. Thereby, the decision of making an investment, entry and exit, it comes with the behavior of investor. This is the gap. The gap is the fund has performed or the stock has performed, but the investor actually did not make anything. Now, the right behavior is they should have bought at low, they should have sold at high. Now, there are enough of processes. You call it fundamental analysis, you call technical analysis, you call money management, everything teaches you the same lesson. But every time when these tools and all teaches you the same lesson, the problem is not with the markets, it's not with the analysis, it's with the investor. This is the behavior gap.
So how to bridge that gap? Okay, I know the gap is there. I took your point that you are buying high, you're selling low. I took your point. I buy that. Great. how to know or probably how to bridge that gap then?
I would say it's a process.
Talk to StreetFolios. Of course. No. I'm just saying. By the way, guys, we've not addressed it till now. StreetFolios is the company this guy owns. So, of course, you can reach out to him.
It's the last minute.
No, it's okay. We'll come to that. But I'm just saying, of course, talking to you is one of the things that people can do who are watching us. Apart from that, something they can do at their own space or at their own space.
Keshav, I got your question. The real understanding is now to be into investment in the stock markets, there are some certain processes or like there are certain studies. It starts with your fundamental analysis to know whether the market is the right time at the right place. Let's say, for example, you will be studying the overall economy or you will be studying macroeconomics and then microeconomics and then the company fundamentals, the company balance sheets and all. And then you actually get into technicals in the sense you actually read the charts. When you read the charts, you will get to know what is a right entry, right exit. And then you know also like what is a money management or a trade management skills you need to have by entering and exiting, all these things. In fact, this is a very vast subject to talk about. At this time, like these are the processes that you can follow. But anybody, like if they really wanted to understand what is fundamentals, what is technicals and all, they can reach out to me or like they can, the link is there in the bio, like they can also go through that.
So we give, so there's an email ID we give a number as well?
Yes.
Perfect. So guys, if you're watching us right now, till here you've come up. In case you want to understand this behavior gap and to bridge that gap, you can reach out to Santosh and his team. The number and the email ID is given in the link, the description of the video. You'll get that.
Yes.
Perfect. Sounds good. Okay, this brings me, the behavior gaps brings me to the next question, right? Which says that if behavior drives investing, then emotions are behind the wheel.
Exactly.
That we're talking about. So I know that numbers matter, but since I've spoken to you from past whatever minutes, I can largely hear emotion, Keshav, emotion. Emotions matter. So now let's address that, right? How do fear of losing something, fear of missing out, greed, I want more returns, the impatience that investors have, how do these shape our decisions and how do we make this better so that the outer world and our investing goes better?
I can address everything except the more returns concept.
Okay.
Because that's not in my control.
Yeah.
I can only explain
very
the
smart,
process.
By the way. You've picked the right word. I don't want to be in the wrong.
I can explain everything except the returns percentage and all.
Got it.
Okay.
Agreed.
Now,
take it.
that is left to the process. If you trust a process,
Yeah.
you eventually end up, at least if it is X, you will earn X plus something.
Got it.
That is for sure. Now, at the same time, to address this behavior gap or these emotions, like I said, you have enough of knowledge or enough of information. It's not with the AI, but it is with the GI. GI in the sense, it's a God's intelligence.
Okay.
When God has already given you so much of intelligence to your human brain, it is just an application of that
intelligence
into your real-time ongoing life parameters. In the sense, you start your career, you start earning money, and then you start investing. Now, let's say you are now in a stage of investments. Now, we all spoke about that behavior gap. The behavior gap, to address this, now what you need to understand is, you need to understand the self. Firstly, you should know how to control your human emotions. To control human emotions, as we already spoken about this, you should also develop the good things in you. And that control comes to you when you go through a disciplined process. It's also called as a regulated process. When I say it is a regulated, you have no other option. You have to follow this. Now, when we all work in a regulated environment, this investments or like trading investments and all, it is very regulated environment. It is not prohibited. There is a difference between prohibited and the regulated.
Correct.
It is not prohibited. Now, when it is not prohibited, it is regulated. Now we should know certain process. Actually, what is happening with the FOMO and all,
Yeah.
that emotional gap or the
Right,
behavioral
right,
gap, what we're talking.
right.
The fear is it is letting you to into the stock when it is at a peak, and the greed letting you exit when it is at the bottom. You are entering with the fear, exiting with the greed, and that fear of missing is there now. It's because you are thinking that you are missing out the already moved stock or the investments.
Okay.
That's where the panic comes in. And when the markets turn red, we all know that like how fearful people are. But that is where you have to develop emotional balance or the behavior, how to hold on to your investments with a proper analysis, of course, yes. At the same time, you should have that guts in the sense it's not like a dare cases where you should hold
Yeah.
even if the stock has fallen 50%.
Yeah.
But you know the process. It's a structural investments. It's not the it's not your decision to take decision to enter today and exit tomorrow. Now, when you know this, there is a way where investments give you better returns over a period of time. Now you know how markets behave. At that time, it is a right thing is to you know how to control yourself, not being very panic and then selling. This is the one like we have to address.
Okay. So again, points taken. Panic is one thing that you're largely talking about. Fear and greed will lead to panic, right? And impatience. So somewhere these emotions are creating the fuss and the problem, and that's why the decisions are going wrong, and somehow you're losing your money,
Yes.
right? Got it.
This can be addressed by investment philosophy
Which is
and timeless wisdom, taking from your historical lessons, from your own scriptures, and those lessons will teach you how not to behave wrong in these circumstances, how to behave properly.
I think training your mind that you're talking about.
Exactly. Because you see, investment somewhere like I studied that it's understanding the markets is nothing but you have to understand the psychology behind it.
Got it. So
It's investor psychology. Now, if you want to understand the investor psychology, you have to train your mind.
So do you think discipline can overpower the intelligence in terms of investing?
Yes, absolutely. If you are disciplined enough, even the intelligent minds, if they are not disciplined, they'll go wrong. For example, you take the great minds. Like I am taking a Sir Isaac Newton.
Okay.
He's a great mind. Now he has invested in a South stocks, and actually he made money, but he exited. After exit, it started performing, and then he start investing again. He lost whole whatever he has earned.
Oh my God.
In the sense, the greatest minds is so intelligent, but he was not disciplined enough. Later on, he made his statements. I can calculate the motions of heavenly bodies, but I can't understand the madness of people in the stock market. Because
Got it.
discipline.
Got it. Got it.
Though he is intelligent, the discipline was not there.
So I think the behavior gap, the emotional investing, the psychology, all of these are the pillars where they all come together when you invest, and then if they are all put in the right place, then you have a chance to succeed.
Of course.
Is what I feel. Great,
Yes.
great.
And along with that, you should train your mind. When I say that you train your mind, it's not to read the numbers. It is when the numbers are showing something wrong. How do you stay calm? How do you control yourself?
Correct.
It's sometimes, it's not the problem. It's how you react towards the problem. You can't escape from the problem. It is how you sit and deal with the problem. Now, when you know how to deal with the problems, you actually don't have any problem.
To this, a lot of people say that better technology means better investing. And as we spoke about AI and how, we've got trading apps, it is just there on your phone, fingertips. There's no need to call somebody, check and all of that. All data is there, right? So data is there, AI is there, trading apps are there, real-time data I'm talking about is there, right? So has it really helped investors in investing, or again, it's becoming a problem day by day? What do you say on that?
I would say it has helped people to solve the issue of easing it down, in the sense
Got it.
they have made things easier.
Okay.
They did not solve the fundamental issue. The fundamental issue is lies with the process of the investors or the behavior of the people. All these evolution in the technology, in the AI world, everything has addressed the issue of being complicated, making complicated.
Yeah.
They solve the problem.
Exactly.
When there is a complexity, they have offered a solution.
Exactly. Technology.
Technology is a solution for the complicated things.
Exactly.
They solve it. They made it everything easy. But who solved the problem of an investor? The problem of the investor is with his mind.
Yeah. Decision making.
Decision making. The decision making comes to a person when his mind is proper. Because as I said, there are three elements to address. One is body, another one is mind, another one is soul.
Soul.
But to address this mind, you should first address the soul. Now, when you take care of the soul, when you connect with the super soul, for example, now then you address other two things with your body and with your mind. To live in this, see, there are two worlds. One is material world, another one is spiritual world.
Yeah.
By birth, we are all spirits. As I know that, because I have gone through the spiritual lessons and all, I have gone through the Bhagavad Gita, some lessons which I have also implemented in my life, personal life. The basic understanding about yourself is, I'm not this body, I'm the soul. Now, when I say that I'm the soul, I have to address the problem of my soul. When I address the problem of my soul, my mind becomes stronger. What if I tell you that I know something beyond death? I want to solve a problem after my death. Because in one terms, the soul is eternal. There is no death for soul.
Yeah.
Now, when I'm talking about this soul, I'm talking about this soul because if you don't address this, you can't address any of these two other things, the body and mind. The body and mind actually depends on the soul.
Yeah, they're governed by soul.
Exactly. Now, when you say that it is connected to it, then who will address that? How do you address that? When you address this, then you talk about your body, then you talk about your mind.
Got it.
Now, when I say that there is material world and the spiritual world, now by birth we all know that, like, we are all spirit souls. But eventually, being in this material world, soul has occupied with this material nature. There are three modes of material nature: mode of goodness, mode of passion, and mode of ignorance. When I talk about these three, if somebody understands these fundamental things, then they are aware of what is that soul. How do I deal with all these things? Of course, I'm not sitting here to solve the entire problem of the world. but at least to myself and the people who are all watching on the investments, when we talk about investments and all, majorly I figured out is it is all the level playing game with your mind. It's not with the numbers. Numbers issue anybody can solve, but the mind issue who will solve? When you want to solve the issue of the mind, you should study all these things. It's not your statistical numbers. It's not your mathematical numbers. It's not your charts. Who is behind the charts? Who is behind the number? The number works only when the people are acting on it. Now, when you don't understand the people acting on it, or don't understand the mindset of the people who are acting on that, to understand the mindset of another person, first of all, you should have the mind. When you have a mind, enough of mind to understand the mindset of other person, then you address the problem. The core problem lies here only.
Agreed. Yeah. So, how do you connect the Indian philosophy to the human mind to the behavior of their investing? And Bhagavad Gita that you spoke about, if you can just elaborate on that, and some shloka that you can just help say that this is what I follow, something that you like about. That will you can extend your answer with that.
You want me to speak on 18 chapters and 700 slokas?
No. Anything very brief, very brief. We are short of time, so
it's like this. There are enough of teachings from the scriptures, and if I talk about those things, it all leads to address the very basic thing. how do we live the life. It teaches complete life. And I've seen people talking about the scriptures like Bhagavad Gita and all at IAM's level. And why? Because if I go in depth of it, it is the conversation between Krishna and Arjuna. And it is not just a conversation, it's complete understanding of the entire human life. And in one situation, it is also teaches you a sthita prajna, in the sense, how do you see the equanimity, in the sense, how do you behave normal in both ups and downs.
Staying neutral.
Staying neutral, sthita prajna, in the sense, normality.
Correct.
Now, when you understand, when you apply these lessons into your real life, you know, because each one of us have so many problems, so many baggages. We already have. It is not to escape from them, it is to address them. Now, to address this, you should identify the medicine. The medicine comes from where? From the doctor. Now, when you go to the doctor, he gives the prescription. You follow the prescription. Let's say you are having a fever, you are down. You go to a doctor, he will give the prescription and he gives the recommended dosage. Similarly, the scriptures or the injections to the human life.
Mind, life.
Life. When we take the serious learning into it, we actually address so many problems. Now, I'm not a person to go in depth of it, but the lessons what I learned from all these things is the first thing, I have to control myself. I should know about me. Who am I? When I address this problem, when I address this question, then I know what I am doing, what I should do, how I should do. It is like artha. Artha is nothing but money. The artha without purpose, it's of no use. Now, earning money without purpose is like not even earning money. Sometimes it is good enough to know how peacefully you die rather than how good you live. The peaceful death is important and more greater than the happiest life you live here. Because if I go back to all my parents, my grandparents and all, they keep talking about all these things when we were all children, like you should get you should get a peaceful death. If
Yeah,
somebody
everyone talks about it.
Everyone talks about it,
Yes.
right? Now, what is that peaceful death? You have to walk in a right path and a right decision and a right way of earning money. Now, with this, what I'm trying to tell is the lessons from Bhagavad Gita that I have implemented in my life is you perform your duties, don't get attached to the results.
Correct.
Karmanyaya vadikaraste. That shloka, if I go back and come back with the purport and come back with the meaning, it leads to this situation. And the chapters and all, if you read and understand, you know how to control yourself. And when you know this, you know so many lessons or so many problems you can address in the real world.
Got it.
In one sense, like if I take the same person, Arjuna, who was receiving the knowledge from the Krishna. In fact, Arjuna's problem is not how to fight with his enemies. In fact, he had one world war within him when he was standing in front of his own family members.
Correct.
His world war was, he was fighting within him, with his mind. Whether I should fight with these people or not to fight with these people. It's not about the enemies standing opposite to him. Now, to address that, Krishna has spoken Bhagavad Gita. Now, in this case, what we should understand, it is spoken very well to address the problem of the mind. The confusion was there with the Arjuna. The confusion was, as we all know, should I fight with my own family members
Exactly.
who are standing opposite to me? Then you know what is the purpose of being a Kshatriya. Now you know, Arjuna understood in the battlefield of Kurukshetra that I leave it to the creator, or the karma is whatever it is there. I don't take that karma. I'll just go with what is the prescription given to a Kshatriya. As a duty of a Kshatriya, I have to fight. So similarly, when you understand what you should do in your life, now you know what is good and how to do it.
Okay. And how is it related to investing as an investor? How does the dots connect?
Now,
Of course, I understand the behavior.
yes.
Doing right, taking the right
Yes.
decision, following the right path. I get it.
Yes.
But how are the dots connected with my investment, the way I invest, and the way I look for returns in later?
Now, when you go and look for some of the people who have made successful investments in the world, they all talk about us very simple things. Now, if you take Warren Buffett, he talks some philosophy. If you take Charlie Munger, he talks about some philosophy.
Yeah.
If you talk Rakesh Jhunjhunwala, so he talks something which related to philosophy. Now, all these people are great minds. Now, with their experiences, they have come up with, and they give the rules of investments. Now, when you apply what you already have, because the knowledge, what the scripture or the Bhagavad Gita, which is offering to you, 5,000 years ago also same thing. Even another 5,000 years also same thing. Where other lessons, let's say for example, when I was studying in my school, I was studying with some other syllabus. If I go back to my school, they have changed the syllabus.
Correct.
The syllabus keeps changing with the evolution of mankind.
Correct.
Whereas the purpose of mankind will not change. Now, when you wanted to understand every generations or every yuga, you take which is very constant. The knowledge is very permanent knowledge. It's not the knowledge which keeps changing every now and then. The shloka number 1 will be remaining the shloka number 1 even after 100 years, even after 500 years.
Correct.
Now, how do it relates to the modern world? You know, like, what is the problem of this modern world? The problem of this modern world is, there are so many, I'm taking just one. This is the generation where people have the highest access to the data and they are all well connected with people,
Yes. Very easy.
but not outside. They are well connected in the world of internet, but they are not connected personally.
Person to person.
Person to person. They don't exchange feelings. They only see things. What if you have 1,000 followers and none of them are your real good friend? The same problem. It leads to people. There is one study, I read it, and as per this, the data says people have, this is the generation, they are well connected. At the same time, they are the people, they are the loneliest. Now, how do we solve this problem? Of course, I'm not going in depth of it.
But how is it related to investing?
Now, who are the people who are investing, started investing in stock markets now? This is the same generation. It has to go into markets. Now, when I'm not addressing at a root level, now how can I address this at a larger level? When they get into markets, I wanted to train them when they actually at the entry level. And then if you address this problem, then you are actually solving the most of the people, as we already know, most of the people losing money or they're panicking. It's a behavior gap. How do we address? You have to talk to the root. It's like there is a plant and I can't water the leaf and then the flower. Instead, I have to water the roots.
Yeah.
Because when you water roots, it actually takes care of its flower, its leaves, everything. So if you are intelligent enough, you have to address the root problem, the problem at the root level. Now, what I understand is you have to address the generation. You have to make sure that this generation takes certain philosophy and then understand themselves first and then get into investments.
Got it.
When you train them with a philosophy and allow them to invest, of course, I'm not here or we are not solving the problem of the data because that problem is already solved by so many businesses.
Correct.
So many things. Technology has changed and we can't even predict what will be the next generation.
Of course.
Because if you ask me the same question 50 years ago or 100 years ago, I would have said that, okay, this is what. But now it is in a phase where it is running you can't even measure.
Exactly.
Now what do? you should change the participants than the level of game.
Improve them.
Improve them. Now, how do we improve? What is the problem we identified? The problem is behavior. Whose behavior? Investors' behavior. Who are the investors? This generation of people who becomes the investors now. Now, how do we address? You come up with certain things where they actually understand what is good, what is bad, and what is the right approach. There are so much evidence that even with data, even with technology, there are so many things they could not address. Now, how do we address? It's with psychology or investment philosophy.
Perfect, yeah. Right. Love the way you explained it. And I'm getting the gist of it, honestly, I'm saying. But there's more deep things to it. If you want to understand this better, I think it's great to connect with this guy, Santosh. You can reach out to him, probably his team, on his number given and the details mentioned. And probably you can understand it a lot better because we don't have that much of time to discuss that. This will require maybe 10 hours, 12 hours of a podcast to kind of do that. But very well said. Perfect. So, Santosh, why StreetFolio is my next question. That I can see that this is not a regular stock recommendation platform, but this is something else. Something more deeper, something more valuable is what I can see, right? So what is the purpose behind it? What made you start this company? And
Actually, when as a SEBI registered research analyst, when we were providing research calls with data driven, the thought process was there in with me. Like I wanted to ensure the people go for a long term investments. At the same time, there was a change in landscape in the SEBI regulations in January 2025. It has changed the whole scenario of the investments in the stock markets. And when the regulations changed, thankfully, we wanted to ensure even we are SEBI regulated. At the same time, we wanted to go with what regulatory is expecting from a registered analysts. Now, there is a concept called model portfolios. What is a model portfolio? It's already existing in the markets where instead of giving a recommendations of a single stock, for example, I would say buy Reliance. And when Reliance makes a return on that, like you will be giving your exit position on the Reliance. It is called as a single stock recommendation. You are telling a investor to buy only one stock and exiting from that. Now, apart from this, like when we talked about a behavior gap and we talked about emotional imbalance and all, to go with this process, there is a structured and a regulated entities where you go with this process in a structured, regulated environment. Now, to go with this, it's something called as model portfolio. The model portfolio concept is so simple. Instead of recommending a one single stock, you will combine the basket of stocks or you will take a group of stocks on a particular theme. For example, IT, for example, automobiles, or only bankings, or only the stocks which are giving out dividends, or only agriculture sector stocks, or green revolution, or green energy, all these stocks, themes. It forms a theme. Now, believing in the particular theme, India's growth stories, then you start recommending a basket of stocks belonging to a particular theme. Now the basket of stocks comes from a regulated research analyst, and then the investors can opt for it.
okay.
It is a concept of model portfolios. The very basic fundamentals of model portfolios is that irrespective of market volatilities, so you are bound to hold the investments of the stocks in your demat account for a longer period of time. And when a research analyst or an investment advisor keep rebalancing in the sense when they change the constituents of a stocks portfolio, that rebalance, the investors will eventually have an access for a rebalance. It's like a reshuffling the investments.
Okay.
That decision will be ensured by the registered analyst or a registered investment advisor. End user or an investor will get that access and they operate it in one click and invest in their in their demat accounts. Now with this concept, which already existing in the markets, but thankfully the regulations come in 2025, and since then, like I was thinking that like we should go into the model portfolios products. Now the concept was that we wanted to enter, but I was not knowing like what is the theme I should choose. Now the process was simple, but I want to choose the product now. Now, when I was thinking about this, with so much happening in and around F&O segments in the markets, and SEBI has come up with the F&O statistics where 93% of the people lose money, and there is a process, and they were also pushing for a long-term investments in the Indian economy. The people who wanted to go for a structured investments products. Now, thankfully, it has happened in such a way that I come from a background where I studied agriculture, and also in my life, I have gone through the philosophy of the Indian or the Hindu scriptures like a Bhagavad Gita or Bhagavatam and all for the last 18-20 years. Now, I was aiming for a investment products where it also talks about my inner sense or the heart of whatever the journey I have gone through. I've come up with that. Two things combined now. One, investments and the philosophy. Now, StreetFolio, what I am referring, is a combination of the journey of my philosophical journey and the investment journey. Now, two things combined together. Now, when finance meets philosophy, then the product evolves as a StreetFolio. Now, the concept of StreetFolio is simple. It is not a new product in the market. It is already existing. The product, in the sense, the model portfolio concept is already existing in the market. Only I am choosing a theme. The theme is based on the philosophy. Why I am choosing a theme of a philosophy? Because I want to address the real problem in the market, not the market, but the person who is behaving in the market.
What is the problem you're solving?
I'm trying to solve the behavior gap that we already discussed so much depth in, the mind and the gap of investor where emotional control is not there and they are not following the disciplined process.
And how will you do that? Like, how will you do that?
Now, the disciplined process is very simple. Now, every quant, every number, every mathematics in the markets are talking about how do they want it to be proper or beat the markets. But I'm not trying to change or play in the level of like a quantitative finance or this, or I'm not going and directly fighting with the markets. But instead, I wanted to ensure the one who is investing in the stock markets, they go with the structured process and the discipline. Now with that, to bring the discipline in them, I have to ensure something which connects to them. What is that something connects to them? The mind. Now I wanted to ensure that mind acts properly. Now when I say that like the mind wanted to act properly, you have so many ways of dealing with the mind.
Yeah.
But one successful process is you have to deal with the mind itself. Now where do you get this? It's something not new in the markets, something not new for our generations. It's already existing. The 5,000 years ago, what has happened in the battlefield of Kurukshetra, the same thing is happening even with the investor right now. Now, when there is a problem like this, and when there was already a solution, the same wisdom I'm taking and I'm putting into investments.
But how are they connected? Okay, I understand your philosophy that you're bringing in. I understand the goodness that you are bringing in the market scenario in this industry.
Yes.
Right? But how will you connect the dots?
See, the process which I have chosen with this regulated products like a model portfolios is that the theme is simple, philosophical theme. Now, in this philosophical theme, I'm not going to talk about the successful investors, but I'm taking the successful investors' journey and combining that with the already existing and already proven lessons from Bhagavad, Mahabharata or Ramayana or Bhagavad Gita. Now, when I say this, I'm connecting the characters of the Indian epics
Okay.
to modern investment philosophy, where I would say you talk about, let's say, for example, Arjuna. Now, I'm trying to connect what are the qualities of Arjuna.
How he thinks, how he
Exactly.
perceives, and how the investors should take.
Investors should take the qualities and adopt in their investment principles.
Got it. So you're connecting that.
Now, there is a question.
So you're connecting the psychology of
Exactly.
Arjuna and other characters.
Correct. The character of Arjuna to the modern investor and choose a theme and choose a portfolio. The portfolio, in the sense, the basket of stocks which are selected based on the qualities of Arjuna. Though we have all the methodologies are all as per the regulations, but I'm just connecting the philosophy. Philosophy in the sense, I wanted to tell already existing, which is permanent in nature, which is not something which I talk about X person today and tomorrow Y person I have to talk. Now, I don't wanted to do that. Now, I wanted to take the permanent character forever and bring that character into my investments and tell that this is the character is very permanent, because you can have one more Elon Musk, you can have one more Warren Buffett, you can have one more anybody for that matter is a human being, but you can't have one more Arjuna, you can't have one more Bhishma, you can't have one more Bhima. This is one time, and the same character I'm taking from the Treta Yuga or Dwapara Yuga. From those yugas, I'm bringing, just connecting with these investors, new generation investors, and ensuring that these investors follow the discipline in investing.
So how many characters you have taken?
I've taken, as of now, I've taken 10 characters.
Okay.
I may go up to 15 or 20 when the characters demand.
Got it.
It's based on the psychology of investors.
Got it. Yeah, so you're talking about discipline, and you always say that invest with philosophy, grow with discipline.
Exactly.
This is your
That is the motto
tagline.
of StreetFolio.
Yeah.
Yes.
So can you explain, like, what do you mean by that?
It's taking the investment journey or choosing your portfolios or a basket of stocks with whatever the philosophy you connect with. For example, my character is equal to someone else's character in the Treta Yuga or Dwapara Yuga, because I identify myself. When I watch a movie, I identify myself in one of the characters in the movie. Now, when you already have enough of movies, now I'm bringing those characters here. You choose what character is suitable for you and ensure that you go with that character and you go with the methodology of choosing investments and try to be disciplined enough. However, the character has performed in the past, take the same lessons now and go with the discipline.
So you invest with philosophy, and then whatever you invest in whichever philosophy, you grow with that discipline.
Discipline, exactly.
Very interesting.
Because I want to address the real problem of the mind. In the sense, the real problem in the market is not the market, but the investor.
So what are the top 3-4 characters that you love the most, or you feel they're highly relatable to the modern investor right now?
I have taken some of the characters like Sudama, which is very close to my heart, and the qualities of Sudama, which is a hidden gems.
Yeah.
Because he is a gem himself.
Yes.
When people identify, we say that you are defined by your character. Now, Sudama is a one character where you know how he has ensured to maintain the relationship with Krishna in the past. It's like we all talk about the friendship. We all talk about the friendship days. Now, if you take the characters of Krishna and Sudama, even from our school days, we keep learning all these stories. Now, the Sudama's character is matching to the hidden gems portfolio today. Now, similarly, I'm taking Arjuna character, and I'm taking Parikshit, I'm taking Abhimanyu, I'm taking Bhima, I'm taking Bhishma. Now, when I talk about these characters, I'm not taking these characters as a marketing label. I'm taking these characters to infuse the real philosophy into the investors. It's not a religious product, but I'm taking from the lessons what I have learned in my
the
journey.
logical thing behind the character.
Exactly. And whatever I have gone through in my process of investments, which has really helped me in understanding the psychology of investors and myself. Now I'm taking the permanent characters, as I said, and I'm bridging the gap of that behavior. Now I want to bring this discipline into the real investors now.
Crazy, yeah. Fantastic. Wish you all the best for this.
Oh, thank you so much.
Looking forward. It looks very nice to me. Whatever I've heard from you looks very promising. And I think this will really help investors out there because you're solving the main problem. I hope you do that well.
Yeah.
And people who are watching us, they can also get some benefit out of it because that's the end, thing we all want in our lives, yes, to get benefited. Great. So before we wrap up this episode, first of all, it's a great talking to you and shooting this one. It is fantastic. Yeah, you've been a lovely guy coming with a hoodie. Guys, come on. I'm seeing, because that's how new age founders are. I've seen people coming in shirts and blazers. This guy is coming with a nice looking watch. Very cool.
It's not expensive.
So when you entered, I felt, hey, this is a college guy coming with a bag. So you have that lovely thing in you where you always want to learn something, and that is great. The attitude is great. So superb. So before we end this, there's a quick rapid fire that we do, and then
No
we'll
personal questions?
No, we'll see. but quick rapid fire, then we'll let you go. Okay.
Done.
Perfect. So first question. So this is a rapid fire. You can choose one. Yeah. Trading or investing?
I choose both.
Don't be a diplomat now.
I go with investments.
There is not a Neta show, okay? We are not talking to a politician, okay? Please.
Personally, I'm a personal trader.
So be that now.
But I'm disciplined. Because market has taught me so many lessons.
Got it.
Yeah.
I'll take that as an answer.
Yeah.
Intelligence or discipline?
Discipline with intelligence.
Nice. Fear or greed?
Greed. Because you should anchor for more following the right principles.
Nice. Market crash or market boom?
Market crash, because it actually attracts better investment psychology, where when markets crash, we get the best stocks in the market at a best price.
Also, you get to know that why did it crash and what all happened, and you get some learning on that.
Crash is fine because we can't control it.
Yeah.
Now, what as an investor should look for when there is a crash? I know that all my investments go into equities.
Got it. Lovely. AI or human judgment?
Human judgments always.
No AI. No Gemini.
AI can solve your
Claude.
data problem. But it can't solve your fundamental problem.
That we spoke about. Long term or quick profits? What do you think?
I would choose long term.
Long term.
Because even the quick profits should stay longer. So it's better to go for long term.
Got it. One investing habit everyone should build. What is that?
Personal character.
Wow, deep. One book every investor should read.
Bhagavad Gita.
One mistake every beginner should avoid.
Not falling to our fancy numbers.
Yeah, that's a big loop. Yeah. One message for, okay, so let me ask you this way. But before I go to this question, I have something. So we have spoken about the know-hows. We've spoken about where the market is going bad and wrong and where the investors should focus on, right? I want to know about you a little bit, right? We'll extend this episode for another 5 minutes. I know we've already spoken a lot and people are like, oh, please, band karo. But no, we'll talk. I would love to know. So when you had a bad day or you had a bad investment, your investment has gone bad and worse. What did you do then to stay calm and probably keep up the spirit going and keep the thing going?
In my journey of investments, I have learned how to be very disciplined because I've seen ups and downs of my trading as well as my investments.
2 decades, man.
Yes. And I think when I'm not able to perform well in my investments, I've actually taken breaks and ensured that I learn something out of investments and come back with a stronger mindset and the stronger philosophical lessons. I personally I have chosen even a career to go to colleges and teach subjects
Oh, wow.
And where I engage with the real minds of the younger generation, where I keep learning so many things from them. And then I come back and sit with my same energy and I go with same investments again. But over a period of time, when I started my business, it is always my business because I wanted to ensure that business has to be strong enough rather than my portfolio. So it is a time where I had to step out from my investments and then focus on my business.
Got it. Nice, nice. Who is your the guy that you look up to, role model, apart from Bhagavad Gita characters?
It's very hard to say.
Anybody you love to listen to, or you like the way that the guy has.
In every segment, I have some people. For example, if you take sports, you have Virat Kohli.
Yeah.
If
No,
you,
but in this
Yeah.
stock market, in this industry.
in the industry, like I followed so many principles like Warren Buffett, or in trading, Jesse Livermore, and in personal finance, I have followed so many people. And when it comes to my understanding about investments, I always deal with at a personal capacity rather than taking some lessons from somebody who has already written and experienced.
Yeah. Got it.
Because what really I understood is to address my own problems, I should know myself first. It's not written in any books where how do you deal with your mind and how do you deal with something.
Yeah, that you
It
only
is
learn.
first I have to experience it.
Without that, you can't.
You can't.
Great. So, is there any? I would love to know about this since 20 years journey is really big. Any small pivot that you made in your life, any small change that you made in your life in general, in your office, in your way of work, that led to a big move or a boss move or a that you thought, okay, there's a little tweak, but oh my God, the change I saw was fantastic. Anything happened like that in your life?
It's a lesson actually. I learned to be kind enough than to be right.
Okay.
In so many ways.
Like if you can give some examples, some year something happened that you did in 2022, but whenever, like I don't know.
It's 2020
Okay.
when the post-COVID.
Okay.
The post-COVID era is something where the businesses' revenues doubled.
Yeah.
During COVID, I understood that the financial sector or the stock markets is the only area where people are earning. In fact, even our employees, they were very happy. I know that personally, some of them, where they are the only people who are earning members in their families and they have taken care of their families because their family members have lost jobs. And I remember people complimenting me that like they were working with this company. And because of that, I think I have learned some of the inputs. I've taken some of the inputs from them. And
What
that was a change.
those? What were those? Like something that you can tell that anybody who's watching us can also think, okay, I can also implement this and I can see big results.
It is
Small change I'm talking, not
the
big
change is like when people are there with you, whether irrespective of whatever they do to you, you always do good for them so that they stay with you. And one or the other day, whatever you have given for them, you will eventually get it back. Maybe that's a very priceless.
Got it. Any change that you made in your way of work apart from this psychology that you, any change that you shifted to something or any tweak that you made that helped you? Just asking out
Just
of the blue.
to point out, because I'm the same person again, maybe the technology revolution, what's happening now with the AI and all, we started implementing that at a lower levels and gradually we have to do it because that makes our process simple and that's where we are going.
But you're seeing good results there?
In the process, it's not with respect to the stock markets, but it's a general how you run your business.
Perfect. Great, yeah. Superb. So, last question. Sorry, I ask a lot of questions, yeah. But last question. If you want to give some 2-3 pieces of advice to a 25-year-old Santosh right now, sitting watching us, right? in whatever angle we put in the edit. But if you want to give that advice, any 2-3 things that you feel that, hey, when I was 25 or 22, if I knew this, I would be a better version, maybe. What would that be?
Start investing in markets at the early stage.
Okay.
And go for a long-term investments.
Okay.
And try to save as much as possible when you start earning instead of upgrading your lifestyle.
Okay. Great. Superb. So you invested a lot in your lifestyle in early stage. Thank you so much for doing this.
Thank you.
It's an honor having you and listening all of this real time problems and solutions somewhere. What we got from this episode. In case, guys, if you want to reach out to him, we'll drop all the details, numbers, email IDs of him and his team. You can reach out. If you liked whatever he spoke, it's there in the video description, so you'll get all the details there, right? Great. Thank you so much.
Thank you.